Hi, my name is Emily Jacobs, and today I'm going to be talking about why you should thrift more. Clothes are something that are involved in my everyday life. Every morning I wake up and I spend a few minutes deciding what I'm going to wear. Over the years, I have acquired a fair amount of clothes. After taking time to research how clothes from my favorite stores like Gap, Old Navy, Maurice's, and American Eagle are made, I have decided to be more conscious in my consumption habits and start thrifting my clothes more. These stores are considered to be fast fashion. This means that the clothes there follow short-lived trends that are not made with the intentions to be kept for a long time. These companies are outsourcing their products using criminal labor practices to deliver trends to consumers at fast and cheap rates. These companies are employing millions of people and paying them very little, dumping waste into their water sources and using large amounts of water to grow cotton and dye clothing. This leads to terrible effects on communities who live near or are employed in these factories. I do acknowledge the fact that there are benefits of fast fashion. It is inexpensive and easily available to people from a variety of different demographics. The same products are offered to many more people because of how fast and cheap they can be sold. This makes fashion more inclusive. Even though this is a plus, it does not offset all the negative side effects that come with fast fashion. But there are a lot of benefits for thrifting. I propose that everyone should start thrifting and donating more clothes to second-hand stores to help reduce the negative impacts of fast fashion and to not participate in the destruction of these workers' lives and environments. When we purchase second-hand, we are not inflicting any more harm on the lives of the people working and are living near these factories, and we are keeping the clothes from going straight into landfills. If everyone starts donating the clothes they do not wear, there will be more options to buy from in thrift stores and potentially better items available. I want thrifting to become the norm. Realistically, I'm still going to purchase clothes from these fast fashion brands, but I want to start becoming a more conscious consumer and think about the longevity of my purchase and buy items that I'm going to wear multiple times. I want to stop buying special occasion clothes. By this, I mean that perfect wedding dress I bought 2 years ago and haven't worn yet, or having 4 Christmas sweaters and wearing them each maybe once a year. I want to cut my buying from fast fashion stores just down to basic items like jeans, winter coats, and very versatile shoes. When thrifting, it is easier to track where your money is going and what it is supporting. When purchasing from most thrift stores, your money will most likely be going to support a charity, and the store will not be shy about promoting it. Popular thrift stores, such as Goodwill and Salvation Army, are both nonprofits, meaning that their main motivation is not to make money. They are honest and straightforward about where people's money is going. Right as I walked into Goodwill, I saw a sign that said, "Your donation helps programs including School to Work." It then explained how the programs bridge the gap for students with learning disabilities in school and work. I'm now going to talk about the 4 main reasons why you should consider changing your shopping habits to a more sustainable way. They are child labor, pollution, health and safety, and company practices. Fast fashion is promoting the use of children as laborers because companies are trying to produce clothing as cheaply and as fast as possible so they can sell the item with competitively low prices and while the trend is still happening. They outsource their factories to low and middle income countries where workers, adults, and children are desperate and willing to work for very low wages. When a child enters the workforce, it interferes with their ability to attend school and get an education. This then will increase the likelihood for the future to be spent in factories getting paid barely anything because of their limited skill set, while exposing them to harmful working conditions. When we purchase fast fashion, we're supporting companies that are taking away opportunities from young children, trapping them in a factory future where their health could be compromised. There are also a lot of health and safety risks in the fast fashion industry. A quote from Rachel Bick's journal about health and safety risks said, "Occupational and safety standards in these low and middle income countries are often not enforced due to poor political infrastructure and organizational management. These companies run operations in low and middle income countries with no regard to occupational and safety standards, putting these workers at risk. Some of these hazards include respiratory hazards due to poor ventilation, such as cotton dust and synthetic air particles, and musculoskeletal hazards from repetitive motion tasks, and health conditions such as lung disease and cancer, damage to endocrine function, adverse reproductive and fetal outcomes, accidental injuries, overuse and death. When working in fields, workers are subjected to exposure to pesticides from the crops and spend long days working in the sun, which can bring about a whole nother realm of health issues. These are things that we do not think about when we purchase from fast fashion stores that we should be conscious about. Fast fashion is at an all-time high right now. Companies develop bad habits and management practices in the past and have carried those habits through to nowadays when the production has been ramped up. These companies are leaving a nasty, indelible impact on the environment and our natural resources. Fast fashion puts society in a state termed as a fashion paradox. This is where society views the economic benefits as more important than the negative impacts it places on the people and environment, which protect it from extensive scrutiny and keep the system from dramatic changes. This is also where a lot of consumers fall because they want to look past all the negative outcomes of fast fashion so they can continue to buy clothes fast and cheap. We need to stop. The fast fashion industry is creating a hefty footprint, contributing to the degradation of the ozone layer while polluting bodies of water. Toxic wastewaters are not typically dealt with correctly in low and middle income countries and are dumped into rivers. This is serious for aquatic life and for millions of people who reside next to the river. Another way the fast fashion industry is hard on water is that it consumes a large amount of fresh water to grow cotton and to dye clothing. When we are purchasing secondhand, all these negative impacts have already happened, so we do not add to it. The fashion industry is hard on the environment in more ways than just polluting water. It is also filling up landfills. This is another big reason why we should be thrifting. When we buy from thrift stores, we are giving clothes another purpose and a place to go where the materials will not be wasted and where they will be used again. This is also a big reason why clothing should be donated. Synthetic fibers do not compose until around 200 years, leaving them taking up space in landfills for a long time. Chemicals are also a big component. They are used multiple times during the dyeing process to bleach and aid in the wet processing of garments. These chemicals have lasting effects on the workers and the environment. They can cause disease and premature death for farmers and pollute water and add to soil degradation. Fast fashion has many downfalls, which is leading to the rise in consumers being more conscious of their consumption habits. In recent years, there has been a rise in conscious consumption and thrifting. Thrift with Me videos on YouTube have become big. It is becoming trendy to buy secondhand and vintage clothes, which is a huge step. Another big step that needs to be made is informing the average clothes buyers about the implications of their purchasing habits. They do not think about the environmental and humanitarian problems that come with buying clothes from popular brands at the mall. When consumers start thinking and limiting their fast fashion purchases, they are not supporting companies that have unethical practices. The workers and environment in low and middle income countries get relief from the crushing factors. After all of this, I want you to seriously consider thrifting as a way to obtain new clothes and to think before purchasing. Evaluate the amount of wear you will get out of an item and if it will be worth the purchase and the environmental and humanitarian impacts it